We want our children to be successful. We want our children to have meaningful capacities for success. When they are in school, the expectation is that they get the same or better learning opportunities as any youngster anywhere in the world. And for this particular community, what I say to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg community, there shouldn't be any difference in the quality and level of success. At least there shouldn't be any less than if you went to Charlotte Country Day, went to any private school in Charlotte. You should be able to get a quality education. And a quality education simply means that you're able to read effectively, you're able to speak, the whole communications package. You're able to write, you're able to speak, you're able to read effectively. That will help you care for yourself, help care for your family, and help be a meaningful participant in your community's growth as a citizen, a taxpayer, and a voter. I think the expectations that we have for our children today are sort of bifurcated. There's one set of expectations for poor kids, one expectations for rich kids, and those who are poor that can sneak over and play like they're rich. I think there should be one expectation for all of our children, and that's that they graduate from high school with a true choice, and that is to be whatever he or she wants to be, whether it's in theater, whether it's in art, and to be successful, not to just be in the field, but to be successful in the field. That is, to make that difference that that child sees of him or herself. And it's not just about being lawyers or doctors or teachers, but providing them with a choice that they can be whatever they want to be and be very successful at what they want to be in life. A successful artist, a successful dancer, a successful welder, a successful business person, a successful entrepreneur, a successful teacher, lawyer, doctor, navigator on an airplane, pilot, military officer. We have to prepare youngsters for having meaningful choices when they graduate from high school. And that preparation is from birth to the time we say as a society you'll be graduating from high school. That's usually after 13 years. But I would say to the community, we want all of our children to have meaningful choices when they walk across that stage. And that means they have to have a command of the English language, critical thinking skills, have to be of good character, certain things of discipline, and that you learn along the way. I mean, we learned along the way in the neighborhood that on Sunday mornings, whether you went to church or not, you better be quiet. You better not be out there and, making that Saturday playground noise until after church was out, at least, if you didn't go to church. And most of our folk either went to church or they were quiet as a church mouse, on Sundays. And that was a community norm. And that's what the community should have, certain norms, certain levels of expectation that when you graduate from high school, this is going to happen, period. I mean, there's no special intervention, no special occasions. This is what we expect as a community, that you'll have the requisite skills, the requisite behavior and attitude and character to have meaningful choices when you graduate from high school. I think we're not delivering on that vision for all of our children. I think we're delivering on that vision for some of our children. But the vast majority of our children today, we're not living up to that commitment. And we're not living up to that commitment because our fundamental expectations, of tying your shoes, of making the X, doing the two bunny rabbits, our expectations somehow or another has changed. That high level of expectation we had for Colin or for your granddaughter or for your niece and nephew, learning to tie their shoes when they're 4 years old, 3, 4, and 5 years old, that high expectation that you will do this. I think as a community, as a society, we have lost that high expectation for some of those children. And once we get that, we got to go back and say, do we truly believe that we want for other people's children what we want for our children? I think that's a fundamental question we have to ask ourselves as individuals and as a society. And I think if we do agree that we want for other people's children what we want for our children, then the way we look at how well we are succeeding or not succeeding at delivering that, some people, you'll either agree or you'll disagree. But I think if you truly say, I want for other people's children what I want for my own children, I think the answer could be nothing but absolutely we're not delivering what we should be delivering for all of our kids. It's easy for us to see Colin tying his shoes or not tying his shoes. And as a society, we're going to have to say, is it okay to walk around without Colin? Is it okay for Colin not to learn to tie his shoes? We have to answer that question. And I don't think the question has been posed to the community at large in such a way. It has to answer that question. That yes, we want for other people's children what I want for my children. Because if the answer is yes, then we will start finding a way to help the Collins of the world be able to tie his shoes. We'll be able to find the resources, if the answer is yes, to make sure that when kids come home from middle school or high school unsupervised, that we'll find supervised experiences for those kids internally in the community with the resources that we already have. As I said to you before, I grew up in a segregated Charlotte in what they said was the slums or blighted housing. I didn't know that because everybody else had the same kind of house, so I thought it was okay. But the community felt that there was Kool-Aid and cookies down the street at a church. So, we'll find the resources. The church found the resources to have cookies and Kool-Aid for kids who didn't belong to the church, for Vacation Bible School. I think we can find cookies and Kool-Aid in this community, and this is a well-off community. But I think every community could find cookies and Kool-Aid for the community's children. And if we're able to do that, that will be the pathway forward for us to start making sure that all children get what they need and deserve.